Good evening, good morning, and good afternoon. This is a Salem by Night, New World of Darkness venue scene. If you are not 18 and up, you cannot partake. We will commence. It is roughly about 9:30 in the morning. Lucy is bringing Fenris up to town hall to meet Lynne. And Lynn's in her mayor's office talking to the lead detective of all the recent drama going on.
Lucy has stopped off on the way to make sure that Fenris and herself are well fed because she's terrible at cooking. But apparently not at a Waffle House. Anyway, and she'll lead the way into the town hall. She's already.
You are going to get stopped, though, because her secretary does not know who you are. You two changelings can tell it's a wizened who looks about 85 years old, and she tells you to take a seat by the door, and she'll see if Miss Lynne is ready for you. But that commoners should remember not to just barge in.
I texted her already to say that we'd be coming over today.
She snarls and looks down at you over the edge of her nose and is like, "And why are you texting our delightful founding Miss Lynne?"
Because she put her phone number in my phone.
She's too trusting.
There
Fine.
is a complete look of confusion on her face about why she should not be doing this.
Fine, you peasants can go ahead and go in. And she'll sit back down at her desk. While I fucking Fenris as he walks by.
I did hear that last part.
Yeah, she's ogling you, mate.
The old lady.
Yeah.
They just looks at her like, what?
And
So,
Will be back in a bit and we'll deal with him then. As you go in, you'll see Detective Black is sitting there. He's stopped talking to Lynne. Lynne looks up. It's like, oh.
Lucy does knock on the way in, I should say. She's not just barging straight in.
Yeah, she does knock, I know. Lynne will stop Detective Black mid-sentence and keep him from finishing it and be like, hold that thought. And she'll motion you two forward. I take it this is the new refugee, and she'll like wink at Lucy as she says this.
Yes.
Well then.
Fenris, although I've been told to go by the name of Michael, I have chosen to go by the name of Michael O'Ryan when I am with mortals.
Michael O'Ryan?
He'll just nod.
Mercy. And she'll like start pulling out paperwork. You'll hear like some switching between French and Spanish under her breath as she's working. And she'll be like, fill out this paperwork and hand it over to him.
He'll take it, and we'll sit down and start writing, filling out the paper.
So how are you settling in?
It's been somewhat mixed.
Oh.
Considering I was becoming involved at the church and the issues with the father.
Yes, that's what Detective Blackhair was telling me about what was going on. I knew he was trouble. Well, we do have two priests in town. I'll have to see which one wants to work with the church now.
If them obviously I don't want to tell you how to do your job, but a little bit of screening might be in order.
Lynne has put the pen down and looked right at Lucy.
No, she's very definitely not trying to tell her, just saying it in case it wasn't thought of, rather than
Miss
expecting it not to be thought of.
M- Miss Vesper, do you think I do not screen my employees?
I wasn't aware that the church were your employees.
I agree with everything that before it is set up. If I don't approve it, or the city council does not approve it and pass it up to me for final approval, it does not get built. It does not get set up in the city.
I had always thought the church was separate to the state. She'll shrug. She
In
honestly
its
didn't know
way,
it was her employee.
yes, I am not entitled to go into the church and demand they rip out parts of scripture. But if there is to be a church here, I need to approve it, and it needs to be requested by the citizens to be built here. Just as Dawn has an occult shop, because it was requested, there was an interest in it, I approved it being structured.
Oh,
That is all my extent of power inside that establishment of religion goes. I approve if it's safe to build here, or if they should go to the next town over for what they seek.
well, that is good to know.
I did not know Father Dante, though, after passing all his background checks and screenings, would turn out to be so difficult. By the way, if you want to make an I think it's investigation. Hold on. Do. Yeah, investigation, empathy.
Investigation empathy.
Yes.
That seems a
Either
bit
of you
odd.
guys.
Usually it would be one of the attributes with either the investigation or the empathy.
I know, but the attributes don't apply for what this is.
Okay.
Okay.
Weird. Um,
Did we get the minus if we don't have one of the attributes or of the
No,
things?
no.
emotions as a specialty?
Yeah, emotions as a specialty would apply.
Two successes.
Oh, you both got enough for this. You will notice Lynne is not her normal, very sheltered, shy, soft spoken, trying to appease everyone. There seems to be not an ounce of stress in her at this moment.
Okay.
And for two successes, you also notice she has a hickey. Uh, the only other difference in this area is her picture of her and Laughing Sam is gone, and it's now a portrait of Grub, Weave, and their brother. So that's the only differences you see currently. And she just seems to be her all business self, but like I said, she's not being nice about business anymore. So she's looking at Fenris, seeing how he's going, checking out his paperwork, making sure he even knows how to write.
Yeah, she knows how to do that. But not used to, but she does, like sometimes. And well, fills out what he can. So he doesn't have a home, so that's on there. She'll be stuck. And well, we'll fill out the name and stuff. And first date, he'll say, I do not remember when I was. Well, he'll say 28 years from in the past, because that's what he thinks that's how he remembers. And yeah, and gets to address and she will say, I do not currently have a home. I slept at Lucy's house last night.
Would you like your own home?
He thinks, goes, I like to travel, but um, I don't think I will always sleep in Lucy's bed. Not realizing what that means, he nods.
She sizes him up for a minute before she goes back over to the drawers, opens one and pulls out a set of keys and goes, "These are some keys to a safe house I have set up. You'll be okay there. Let me catch Will up real fast. Will, if he can hear me. Uh, give him a minute. Okay, Will, are you there? He may drop again. She's gonna continue handing you the keys. She hands you. She's like looking through some IDs and then hands you one and goes, "This one is yours."
Thank you. Thank you all. Something strange for this world here about.
She'll kind of give you a glance, like "Be careful," like concerned expression at you.
No, that's
You guys can roll to see if you understand that expression and why she's shooting it.
With sympathy?
Yes.
Emotions or not emotions?
This is body language.
Okay. No, I'm just saying because emotions is the specialty, so not counting the specialty. One success.
no, he doesn't get in it.
He doesn't get it?
Nope.
Okay. Lucy, you get enough of a success to know she's telling you to shush up about that because of the changeling related comment he made. That, and you guys have to remember, even though I've not made his character say anything, Detective Black is technically sitting in the office with you guys.
Yeah. And Lucy's been following the mayor's lead on how much should be said or not said around him.
Yeah, that's why she called you a refugee instead of an escapee.
Yeah. Lucy's going to set one hand very gently on Fenris's shoulder for a moment to get his attention.
He'll look back and smile. Yes.
There are certain aspects of our past that are best discussed only with those who can understand and appreciate them.
And he'll look up at him for a second and nod.
Uh, okay, keys, ID, your paperwork's filled out. She'll pull out a debit card and hand it with a. She's like, "Any preference in wallets?"
Any will do.
She'll hand him a brown wallet, put the debit card in it. Lucy can show you, because I've shown her how to work the debit card. That's enough money to last you 1 month. You need to find a job by then.
No, no.
Uh, she'll pull out a map of Salem, like a tourist style map, and she'll mark where, like a red pen, she circles and goes, "This is where you'll stay." Everything has a label on this map of what it is. So if you want to go to the library, it'll tell you on the map library.
Thank you.
And she goes, "Not a problem. I have some more rules, but Those I will text to Lucy, and she will, for the most part, can pass them all on to you. We do not fight in this town over whose dick is bigger, so to speak. We will not issue contests to anyone, and you will keep as low of a profile as possible while here.
Very short one. I will do my best.
All right. She looks him over. You're a big guy. Lucy, the map will show you how to get there, but I would take him by the local nightclub. He could get a good job as a bouncer there.
She looks a little bit confused by what a nightclub is, but she'll just nod.
So is there anything else, dears?
Fenris will look to Lucy if she has anything to say.
No, I simply wanted to make sure that you were
Oh,
aware of him and he was.
I have something to say to you, though, Lucy. If the rumors are correct, congratulations.
On what?
On getting a nice young man as a lover like Detective Mel Gordon.
Mel is a friend of mine.
Ah, from what I've heard, you guys have been seen holding hands, and you've been together repeatedly for the past few days.
We have definitely not been holding hands, and we are together quite frequently because we are friends and we both attend the same church.
Hmm.
And he's been assisting me with finding out a bit more about my history.
Well, it's always good to find out. Oh, speaking of which, that paperwork he wanted is in, and she'll hand it to Lucy. You can be a dear and deliver that for him. I'll give you a little bit of pay for it.
Uh, does this need to be delivered to the police station?
No, no, straight to Mel Gordon. This is something he did off the record.
Okay.
Thank you, darling. And, she looks over at Fenris. Detective Black will say got up and said he'll be right back. I'm going to the restroom. Um, Now let me be clear. The detective that just left the room is a normal human. We have an alliance with him. He has met a true fae. He has dealt with a true fae, enough to restrain her and put her in a prison cell. He is a very valuable asset. But as far as he knows, we were a hallucination and mental breakdown. Do you understand?
And he'll say, oh, mortals are not aware of our existence. All right, I understand.
Okay. Secondly, uh, Father Dante was a normal human when I hired him. He's not anymore. Now, the police want him captured alive. That's fine. The police can want what they want. I would personally prefer to have his head decapitated, preserved, and kept in my mansion. You will also notice as she's saying this, the whole office is icing over. Because, all that three mantle.
But
Uh,
if you wish for me to bring instead.
you know what you need to do. And as soon as she says that, Detective Black returns from the restroom.
I did send you the information. Lucy looks like she probably would have been more explicit, but Detective Black has just returned from the bathroom.
If he could actually talk this time.
Yeah.
I get a white screen when I click on the image.
Yeah, hold on. Um, so, Fenris, is there anything else you're gonna need?
He looks and goes, I tend to a home to return to occasionally is all I need. I like to travel, but I like to have a place to. Yeah, I like to have a familiar place that I can return to.
Well, that place is kind of small. It's on the edge of town, but you look like the kind of guy who prefers to run around, hike, hunt, that sort of thing. So I figured the country view would do better for you.
And he'll nod and goes, yes, I am not too used to staying in cities, uh, even in my old. And he sees that the office Black is your home goes in my old country.
Um, It's like, yeah, I mean, Salem's not a very big town, but we have room for everyone. That place is by our actual wildlife preservation, so you'll really enjoy it. Uh, add a character note real quick. Sorry, five viewers. Will, you want to say something for us? Okay, I still can't hear you, Will. But I can see you moving around through the light. On a all right, well, Will gets that fixed. We'll say Johnny can hop in.
But now she.
Or not.
Is everybody having issues today?
I guess so. I don't know. Well, Detective Black is off.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay.
He says fuck it, no Detective Black for this scene. So you'll say Detective Black get up, get called out, like as he's sitting down his radio goes off. You know, all officers, we have a 184 and he like gets up, goes, "God damn it," and walks out. That's how we'll exit him. Sorry, we had a player having net issues, Johnny.
It's fine.
Okay, Lucio, you've been under Lynn's desk this whole time, trying to hide from Detective Black. And,
Why was I trying to hide from Detective Black?
well, the fact they were talking business and you were working.
Oh, okay, I get it.
Right.
And you hear Lucy introducing Fenris, and you hear Lynn teasing Lucy, congratulating her on her new boyfriend, Detective Mel Gordon.
That's fantastic.
And she clarified on the matter. She did clarify on that
I
matter.
also said she had.
What was the clarification?
They're just friends.
Yeah.
Fenris also mentioned sleeping with his bed.
I
Yeah,
just
Fenris did
sent you.
mention that he couldn't, when he was asked if he wanted, if he needed a safe house, he's like, well, I don't think I can go sleeping in Lucy's bed the whole time.
Yeah, I totally am imagining just fucking Lucio under that desk rolling with laughter right now.
Oh yeah. Look what I typed.
I am. Uh, you guys hear like from Lynn, and she's like, on a side note, is there anything else you guys want to talk about?
No, that was everything. I just wanted to introduce Fenris to you and ensure that he was settled into the city.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, by the way, the Spring King is dead. Our Vernal Sovereign from New York came to deal with him.
So it was a different king that killed him?
It was New York's Spring King that came and dealt with him. They kept it inside court. He was not a very nice gentleman. He's been dealt with. The movie theater drive-in, not the sit-down one, the drive-in theater is off limits for now. It got trashed. It needs a lot of repairs. She's like, God damn it, Lucia, will you just come out from under the desk?
He'll just kind of wiggle his way out from under it and kind of like peek over the edge.
I am not going to ask.
Ask what?
Lynn goes, I'm a client. I pay him for cuddlings and I love yous.
I love you. He'll look at her and bat his eyelashes.
She'll hand him $100 bill.
Thank you. He'll put it in his wallet. And he'll kind of like he'll kind of like get up and like put his elbows on the desk.
So, we've got Fenris arranged. We've got Lucy, by the way, I have your pension
Who?
from the church.
Who we have arranged?
Fenris is my name.
He's going by Michael O'Brien?
That is the most. I just got back and picked up the phone book name I've ever heard. Did you give that to him, honey? I'll look over at her.
No,
We
no,
discussed
I
it
did
over
not.
breakfast.
Hmm?
We discussed it over breakfast before we came here.
Okay.
Chose it himself.
Hey, puta, to Lucio.
He'll look at her like, excuse me?
It's not
like,
worse than Lynn Flores now, is it? Granted, I just killed my fetch and took my original name back.
but Lynn Flores is a beautiful name. It rolls off the tongue.
Mm-hmm. By the way, Lucy has been handed $293.
Okay.
She
So
goes, that is your pension for the last few days of work and service you have given to the church.
Except that's all she makes working for God. Do you know how much you would make working for me?
She shoots at Lucio a look and goes, not everyone is talented with their tongue, dear.
I'll bite his lip. That's true. What about you, though? He'll look at Blondie McBlonson over there. And,
If working for you means using our tongue, I am not that great of a speaker.
what? What was that? I couldn't hear you.
Because if working for you is using our tongues, I am not that great of a speaker.
No, it's. He'll just put his head on the desk, like just shaking with laughter, like quiet laughter. No, working with me entails sleeping with beautiful women for lots of money and being flown all over the world on vacations and all that stuff, just to cuddle and kiss and tell people you love them, and sometimes get tied up and spanked. But that's not that often. I'm not into that kind of thing. He'll look at Lynn like, I told you. And
Why do people pay for this when they can just do it?
why do people pay? Because there's a difference. There's a difference between why do people go out to dinner when they can cook at home? Genuinely, like seriously.
Lynn sighs and goes, and some people have been told repeatedly by their higher-ups they are unworthy of anything but being the background bitch and property of that said person.
He'll point to her. Mm-hmm. That too.
And it's just easier than getting your heart broken again to pay a man to tell you, I love you.
He'll wave his fingers at him. Like, that's what I do. I mean, I do, in a way, of course. I love all my friends.
Nightclub.
Why are you changing the subject right now?
That was where Lynn suggested that Lucy takes him to get a job.
Oh my God, say it in character.
Oh my God, I think Will's actually going to be able to join us.
Oh my God, it's Will.
Oh
Is that
God.
the audio?
Yes, we can hear you. Detective Black returns from the bathroom and a call of a whatever I said it was.
I have a quick question. Really important. What division does Detective Black work
Homicide.
with? Yes, this is in my jurisdiction.
All he saw was Lynn hand $100 bill as he walked back into the office to Lucio, and Lucio say, I love you.
Yes.
You're not really sure where Lucio came from because he did not walk past you in the hallway to get into the office.
Anyway.
Yeah, might not be your division, but Black is the lead detective in the city, so.
Yeah. She
I'm
looks
legal.
at Detective Black and she goes, Detective Black, it's not for sex. I pay him for other things.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you putting words in my mouth?
You have a badge. We're Mexican, well, part Mexican, and he's full. I assume the worst.
Mm-hmm. I'm legal. I was born here. I'm not even an anchor baby, okay?
Even if you did, prostitution isn't my, prostitution or immigration. My department.
They'll look back at Fenris. So, what were we talking about? You're a good-looking man. You definitely. You could.
Lucio!
What?
Stop recruiting the refugees to work for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Good boy. Detective Black, so this is Lucy Vesper. She worked with Father Dante.
You don't say.
Granted, I showed her the church to work at because she has training as a nun and was looking for a new convent.
You do realize I didn't take the vows, right?
Yes, I do realize that, but you seem to want to work in a church. That's why I appointed you that way.
This is true.
Well, let's be honest here. Working in the church, you hear all kinds of juicy details.
And I did hear from a little birdie that you wanted to question employees of the church.
Not here.
No, not here, but Miss Lucy has no problem going downtown with you. But all I do ask that you be gentle with her. She is a proper lady.
May I remind you that I wear a badge?
And may I remind you, I completely respect that badge. All I'm asking is you be gentle.
With respect, there is a missing suspect that has fled my jail. There is a school that was nearly burnt to the fucking ground.
I remember correctly.
I don't think being fucking gentle is the way to get shit done around here anymore.
Hey, Mr. Blackie there? You got 6'2" a Mexican standing up and looking at you like you're gonna start talking to her differently right now.
And
Like,
you've got
seriously? I'm rolling intimidation.
and yeah, I was
He
gonna
doesn't
say,
like the way you're talking to Lynn.
A very icy cold hand has touched Lucio's shoulder, and all she says is, "Sit down."
Okay.
I don't actually see why he would need to be rough or gentle or anything of the sort if he is simply asking me to go with him to the police station to answer questions. I'm quite willing to go. There is no need for physical contact.
Oh, God.
What-
Lynn's rubbing her forehead.
Yeah, what Lucio didn't like and what was very clear is that he didn't like the way that he was talking to Lynn.
Oh, yeah. But the argument before that was about Lucy. So.
Yeah. It's not even really an argument. Black and Lynn butt heads.
Yeah.
Lynn has laid her pen down and she leans over to Detective Black. She goes, "I get that you don't like me. That's not a problem. But you see these people. These are the closest to a family I have. I make sure they pay their consequences if they do wrong, and if they are innocent of the current crime, I protect them. I am going to let her go with you. That's not a problem. If I really wanted to impede on your investigation, I could just make it where you never see her again, and she would be perfectly fine and healthy and maybe happy. Now, about your little school burning down, first of all, it didn't fully burn down. Secondly, no one was hurt. Thirdly, you're the only one wanting to press charges on Dawn for that. She has apologized. She's made amends. The school invited her back. She has apologized repeatedly and said she will try to raise the money to repair for the damage she's did. She has had a breakdown and was trying to purify what she thought was evil there. You know, when you...
It's an arson.
I get it. She needs to be punished. That's not a problem.
It's not my fault if she decides to hide behind religious prosecution.
She didn't
If
hide.
I took that, if I took religious doctrine, or in every case I took, there wouldn't be a fucking thing get done in this town. There would there?
By the way, I need Detective Black to roll a wits empathy roll real quick.
That's gonna be 6 on me.
Do you want me to roll it?
Yeah.
Alright, that's not a problem. 6 dice. Okay. Detective Black has actually seen Lynn's face shift to the face on the right side, her true face. Her eyes are like completely black and there's ice forming on her. She goes, "Dawn is not hiding. You should talk to the girl. She has no religious persecution. She felt that fire would fix the issue and give the city a brand new start. So there would be no memory of her friends, people she thought were her friends, trying to fucking kill her in that school. And the fact that she threw her body over a police officer assigned to protect that school to protect him. So maybe you should clean your damn ego out of your head a little bit and not just focus on one track."
Because fire clearly saves all.
You see Lucio put his hand very lightly on Lynn's shoulder, kind of like softly, like give me a second to say something. I have 6 successes. I don't have the law that he's about to lay on you to properly say it, but I'm going to do it the best I can. But keep in mind, he has 6 successes, okay?
Okay.
Lucio opens his mouth, and what he proceeds to do is ask your character in perfect, professional, like, lay down, as in, like, holy fuck. What, so this is your jurisdiction, that's fine, but as he understands it, you're a homicide detective, so like, where is, like, he wants to know, like, do you have permission to, like, talk to this child? Has her lawyer been put into this? Where is her guardianship and all of that good stuff? Like, this dude literally lays down, like, have you jumped through this hoop, this hoop, this hoop, this hoop, this hoop, this hoop, this hoop? Do you understand that this can be used against you? Are you aware of the fact that if you are indeed a homicide detective, although mortally you might be of this jurisdiction needs to be called in. Who is that person? He wants to see them. And then on top of all of that, he starts laying down like all of the little dumb laws that could come into play that are like dude goes off for like 5 minutes. Like just laying down everything as to why do you have the right to be here swinging your dick the way you are? Who the fuck are you?
Detective Black was here to begin with. He had
No, I know.
Yeah.
No, I know. It's just he's just putting Ring behind this big wall of fuck you protection. Like, here's all these laws you're gonna have to go through, homeboy. Like, and then he smiles.
If you want me to make a roll for you, Will, so you can swing your dick back at Lucio, that is not a problem.
And like all of them were legit too. That's the worst part. Like, it was legit. Like, she's a minor. It's not your fucking jurisdiction. Don't give a fuck who you are. Like, where are her guardians involving this? You know, is there fucking proof that she did this? Like, what is he genuine? Not like, you know, circumstantial, but actual fucking evidence.
Note, Lucio would note, Dawn admitted to it. Dawn turned herself in after causing the fire.
Oh, that's fine, but it hasn't gone to trial yet, so it doesn't matter. Even if she's, like, you have to have, like, a guilt, there you go, submitted fucking in court, like, and that hasn't been achieved yet, so. So he'll just look at him, like, this is what I put on the table. What are you bringing?
Don't worry about it. No roll needed.
Okay. Detective Black,
Okay,
though,
I'll call it.
probably needs to take his happy pills at the moment because of seeing Lynne's changeling face.
I do.
Yeah, so you all would see Detective Black pull out a pill bottle while looking at Lynne and start popping it.
Yeah, he's like, look, this is no disrespect. I'm not trying to undermine your authority, and I'm not trying to bring something to you, but this is all stuff that needs to be considered. And he'll smile and shut up.
Lynne shifts her face back towards your human form best as possible. Detective Black, you see this happening before your eyes as you're taking your happy pill. And she goes,
I don't need you to roll. I don't need you to roll me dice to lawyer off. What I do need is for me to read Lucio's rights.
oh God, what are you doing to Lucio now? I think Lucio just got himself in trouble.
He can read him his rights, but his problem is that he's going to have to explain to him why he's arresting him. And then at that point, I will roll law again. Because Lucio, to his knowledge, hasn't committed a crime. Huh?
Yeah. Who said a word about arresting? He's being detained.
You
still have to, I'm looking online, you still have to inform a suspect what they're being detained for.
Yeah, he can't be detained without anything, and if you don't have anything to detain him on, you can't detain him. The Massachusetts works like that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, you have to suspect them of something.
Yeah, you can't get on him because he basically just told you down. Like, that's no.
Just like also when you detain a suspect, you can only hold them for 1 day until you have evidence.
Oh,
If you don't have evidence.
I know.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
Okay. You can do that to him, but he's going to do something at that point.
Oh God! Do not try to seduce Detective.
Oh no, he's not going to seduce him. That's no.
He's not getting paid for this.
Oh, I'm not getting paid. I'm not. This is for free. The last time I did this, I got paid.
I do not understand. Lucio has slept with someone without pay before.
Yes, that is true. Well, that was a really loose sleep with. But if you start with that whole retaining your rights thing, Lucio's going to give you a look of, you want to do this to your career? This is what you want to do for your career. Okay.
He's going to probably end up working with Monica.
I mean, if Monica ends up working at McDonald's, yeah, sure, I could see how. Like,
Sit down, please. I'm only going to ask you this once.
Lynne looks at Lucio and in
oh, of course,
Spanish goes, "My love, please sit down."
of course, he will sit down immediately.
I do not mean disrespect, and I am sorry that I let an emotion show. She looks at Detective Black when she says that. It is my job to keep my emotions in check. I know I am not great at my job. I am trying my best. And I fully respect law enforcement and expect, you know, if I have information and give it to them, let them act on it. Just as if they have something they want changed, they should be able to come and talk to me. We're all part of this city. We should work together.
A, I never said you were a suspect, so don't take it that way. B, Dawn is not a suspect. Though I do find that there seems to be a bit of oddity behind the whole situation. C, as he points over towards, not necessarily pointing, but looking over towards Lucio's way. I'm aware that you know your rights, and I'm more than I'm more than glad with the fact that you know how to exercise them. But now was not the time.
I want to tell you a short story. There was once a little girl who had no one.
Because I
Utterly,
have time for stories when people are being killed.
utterly and completely alone. Death was her only way out. She couldn't have kids, couldn't have a family. Nobody wanted her. Then she found this little town called Salem. Nobody really cared where she came from. They were all open and accepting, and they loved this little girl. And that's how I see Salem still, as a big family. So I want you to go out, find this Father Dante, because if you don't arrest him and deal with him, I can guarantee you're going to have to arrest me after I get a hold of him.
Father Dante is not of your concern. Don't worry about it. I've got every asset the department has is on it.
She pulls out a business card and hands it to you, Will, your character, and goes, "Here's an asset that could be useful to you. That's not part of your department. She's a private detective, and she could help you in ways you wouldn't dream."
He'll take the card.
Now, I'm not saying deputize her, but I am saying she can go places a cop would stick out in.
It is what it is.
I need a drink. She kind of sighs and rubs her head.
Lucio will look down at her and he'll say, what do you want?
Scotch, dry. She looks over at Lucy and Fenris. Also, Detective Black, meet our latest political refugee to Salem. Michael O'Ryan, Detective Black.
Fenris will smile and nod and will reach out his hand for a shake.
Mind you, Detective Black, this is a very large, muscle-bound, he looks like he could kill a man in one punch type guy.
And he's currently wearing slightly badly fitting clothes because they came from the charity box. We're planning to go shopping. We just wanted to meet Lynne first.
Black holds up a single finger. First, I don't shake hands with a man that looks as bad as you do right now. So, you see, he reaches back reaches back into the coat that he's wearing, and he pulls out his wallet. And as he does, he hands him a couple $100 bills. Remedy it.
She'll look at it and give it back, and say, I do not take gifts from people who show me disrespect.
Yeah, Lucio's gonna say something in Spanish, like through clenched teeth. I'll type to Lynn what it is.
Don't think of it as disrespect. I have a habit of. So I've been told I have a habit of coming off the wrong way, but don't think of it as disrespect.
He's very untrusting of others. You should have seen him when he first met me in the park.
And she'll say,
He's
also,
going to give them a confused look.
also think like the way you spoke to Lucy.
Lucy, you'll be okay. Like, I butt heads with him, but he won't actually hurt you.
I would have thought not. He's a member of the constabulary.
Oh, I forgot to ask. Detective Black can be here for this part. How did that little Senate dinner you went to go?
Quite well. I met members of her family.
Mm.
It was somewhat awkward, but
I heard you actually did all right until you demanded they break tradition and give you a full chair instead of stool at the table.
there was no table, and I have no knowledge of their traditions. Something that they might have considered before throwing me into the situation.
Yeah. It's okay. I'll meet with the princess later and we'll deal with her as we deal with her. Maybe get Fenris to play bodyguard for her while she's visiting.
That would be entirely up to Fenris.
Who are we talking about?
Her scotch hits the table, by the way. He'll put it in front of her and then sit down next to her again.
In Spanish.
He'll kind of look over at her.
By the way, they are talking about Detective Black while in Spanish.
He'll suck his teeth. He'll basically suck his teeth, and he'll go, "Of course he did. He's got the ego of one," and he'll just fucking hold his hands up like whatever. Like he says that in Spanish though. Like whatever. Fuck. Of course
I don't know if Detective Black actually understands Spanish or not.
No, he doesn't.
Okay, then they're all right.
Yeah, he's still going to pick up on his name.
Because black is not black in Spanish. It's actually an inappropriate word completely.
That's actually a really inappropriate word in Spanish, but they're not saying his name. Like they haven't said his fucking name at any point. Like.
Oh, I'm sorry, Detective Black. Would you like a drink also while you're here?
Black just stares at her. You know better.
She just smiles and goes, I had to test it.
Is there some reason you're not allowed beverages?
I figured you would take him to go get some new clothes by now.
That was very much the next thing on the agenda, aside from the fact that Detective Black seems to want to talk with me.
He'll say something to her in Spanish. He'll say something low pitched to her in Spanish, I'll just say it out loud. He'll ask her, does she have representation to go with her to speak to him?
In plain English, she'll respond, "It's fine. She can handle this. He won't hurt her."
No, it's not a matter of hurting her. It's saying you're doing something that may be held against her. You can't. I mean, he'll hold his hands up like it's fine, but she's just newly returned. That's irresponsible. He says in Spanish, like lightly. I mean, he's genuinely looking out for her. It's not even necessarily him. He just wants to make sure that she knows, because she may not know law, that she does have the right to have someone representing her.
She looks at Detective Black and goes, "One of your attorneys, the one that's representing Dawn, will be there when you question her. Okay?
No problem.
All right. Then we're all set. Lucy, I have a lunch coming up, so me and Lucio will take Fenris shopping for you."
Oh yeah, I gotta be at the airport at 3 o'clock. Okay, I'm meeting. Well, he doesn't want to say who he's meeting, but I'm meeting at the airport. I have to go at 3 o'clock. Okay, so I can go with you now, but can you
I
drop me off at the
know,
airport?
I know. Go have your fun with the boys.
Well, you know what? We gotta do some stuff. Okay, it's important. Like, look at her. Like, what do you want?
I have asked Mal to provide some advice on male attire, but I'm quite certain that Lucio can do just as well.
Lucio is very flexible and stylish, yes.
Mhm. People like all different flavors of men's clothing, so I know what to do.
I'm just
I'm seeing
imagining.
kind of an industrial look for you. He'll look over at Fenris with his hand going up and down. Like, you look like you could do with like a post grunge, like that. You look like that kind of thing. Are you gonna keep your hair that length, or are you cutting it?
He'll say, I wanted to cut it.
Like, how short are you want it? Because it actually looks good. Like, well, the way it is, it looks good. But if you want to cut it, we'll fucking go get it cut. But you need to get your shit in order. He'll like look at his face, like the whole beard thing going. He's like, you got a neck beard going on right now, and that's not the image you want to put out. Just shake his head, like, nope.
Ah,
Now I can decide something with. Well, it looks like I can decide something with you.
No, yeah, that'll make you look like $1,000,000 fucking, okay? Don't worry.
all
Like,
right.
we'll let you pick out your clothes and everything, but I'm gonna help you a little bit.
Well, if you're gonna help him, I've got one thing to talk in private with Detective Black, and I will meet you guys outside.
Sure.
And
Before
Lucy,
before they take their exit, Black will reach into his pocket and extend a card over to Fenris.
Won't take it.
Again, that was not meant as an insult. As I've been told, I have a bad habit of coming off the wrong way. That being said, let me buy you a drink sometime.
He'll smile and goes, I will not turn your offer down. And will nod.
As soon as they are gone and in the hallway waiting, she's going to shut the door behind them. She's going to lock it. And, make sure they're not trying to eavesdrop. And she'll turn back to Detective Black, walk over to him, sit down right in one of the guest seats beside him and go, "So, shit's really hit the fan, huh?
And it's spreading like wildfire.
I'm sorry I made you take one of your pills."
Shit happens.
You know not to listen to those doctors. You don't actually need those, right?
Oh, I'm well aware of it. The only reason I take it. The only reason I take it is because of department regulation.
So let's talk. Do you have any questions? Besides everyday life, I mean.
Well, given the fact that I've been cooped up in that office, he looks down at his watch. damn, months now.
I figured with having a word weaver as your partner at that station, you'd be able to move time faster.
It's not as simple as that.
Mm.
Hey, hey, I mean, I realize you probably don't answer to the same. What's a good word for this? Same constraints that we do, but it's not as simple as moving from point A to point B. There's obstacles that have to be overcome first.
You know, Detective Black, as magical or different as you think we are, we're not much different than you. All we're trying to do is never be slaves again.
Well, don't give anyone a reason to enslave you, and it never happen again.
She starts laughing. She goes, if only it was that easy. They 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 even think you're their slave, Detective Black. They just haven't had a chance to grab you up yet.
Oh, I'm well aware of that.
I'm just saying, be careful. You might be a bit of an asshole, but I like you for a detective. You're honest, unlike some of the other police in your station. I'm also sorry I had to cover up Alice's death.
I'm going to pretend that I didn't hear that.
We are being honest, and I'm going to state to you now the fact she died was because she was working with Father Dante, and she attacked the wrong people.
That, however, might come up in court.
You may not even get it to court if Father Dante gets his way. He's the kind of person who can look a man in the eyes and make him do whatever he wants him to do.
Speaking of which, where is the son of a bitch anyway?
Last I saw, he was headed to the princess's mausoleum. Maybe you should ask her. I would take Mel with you, though. Mel's met her.
Agreed. You gotta step over enemy lines.
She looks at Black and she goes, "Not all of us are your enemies." Um,
Yeah, well, I certainly have yet to find a fucking friend.
I thought we were friends.
We're we are business acquaintances, far from friends.
She's laughing. She's like, "You're probably in the past 60 years the only person who's seen me before I was mayor and remembered me. I respect that. Most people tend to forget me right away." So, I would suggest if you really want to clean up this town and get it back on the good and narrow track, go home, read some.
Yeah, because that's exactly what I want to do.
Well, that's kind of the image you've been putting out to everybody.
Because I'm a detective. It's in the job description.
Um, so should I give you a warning about that private detective I gave you the card for?
Let me guess. What's wrong with this one? Oh, wait. He flies. No, I'm sorry. No, this one can walk on water. He's Jesus. Am I right?
First of all, it's a she. Her name is Monica Creakston. Secondly, she can't fly as far as I know, but water and sunlight are good for her kind. And she pats him on the shoulder. Now get out of my office, Detective Black. I have to go shopping with a new one.
Done.
I
Black takes
promise.
his, unlocking the door and stepping out, shaking his head.
So pretty much the only thing the three in the hallway heard from the office was Detective Black's wild laughter.
Okay. Lucy is still standing there waiting, and she's presumably been talking slightly with the other two while they were waiting.
Lynn will come out, close the office door. The old woman's eye-oogling the men, but glaring at Lucy and Lynn. Like, where are you taking our founding lady, Lynn, now? And she's asking Black this now. This woman looks about 85, and she looks like your stereotypical gossipy cat lady.
I'm just gonna pull my coat back, show the badge, and let the coat fall back.
Ah, fine. Sits down. Why can't you just stay in your office like a good girl? Pointing at Lynn. Lynn will kind of stick out her tongue and go, "'Cause puta, I'm not always a good girl. Let's go, Lucio."
He'll look over at her like his mouth was about to go and he stopped. He'll just give her a look like, I love you so fucking much.
For the first time in months, for the first time in months, she would see Black slightly smirk at the "I'm not always a good girl, bitch" comment.
The old woman is extremely offended, screaming about how Lynn is not a proper leader and that monarchies will hear of this.
Oh god, did she really say that? Oh god,
Yeah,
don't. Did you see she
Jesus,
said that?
wow.
she does not know that Detective Black is not one of them. And Lynn is stopped dead in her tracks.
He'll grab her hands, both of them. Lucy will grab both of her hands, and he'll look her in the face, and he's like, let me, please let me. I'll give you like the next 3 nights free, okay?
Black heard that part too. Okay, you deal with the loud
Okay,
mouth, because
okay.
now I've got to explain monarchies to him, to
He'll
Black.
just turn and go to that table, and it's like a cat, a jungle cat on a fucking like caterpillar. He's
Perhaps
just
we
gonna
should.
lean on the desk.
Hey, as an out-of-game comment, I'm all fine and well until somebody shoots someone. Then I have to get
Yeah.
any
Yeah,
time else. Your
But
ass.
Lucy
she
is actually commenting to Detective Black. Perhaps we should leave.
Mhm.
yeah, he's not gonna hurt her, don't worry, but she's getting a talking to now.
Oh yeah.
She's
Oh
like
god.
locked one elbow with Fenris, aka Michael Orion, and is leading him by the elbow out. Come on, Ken, let's go get you something that actually fits that muscle bound, large
I'm not getting the sense of,
form of yours.
so
It's for
normally Ken thinks he'll just go, my name is Michael. Like
So let me
one,
hold on like 5 minutes, okay? I'll be right there. Go warm the car up. Go put the car up, and I'll be right fucking there. And he'll put his hands on the desk like, oh, I'm gonna yell at you.
All right, so she goes to her car and warms it up, tells Lucy while she hands her a can of mace, like secretly it's like put into her bag, and it's like, here's some mace in case you need it. Detective Black is a gentleman. Mel Gordon and the attorney will be there. If you're not back in 18 hours, I'm coming in with the army.
I should be at the church at sunset. I usually am.
Okay. And she'll like pat Lucy like she's like a daughter. It's like how a mother does a daughter, like pat her hair and like straighten her up and be like, "All right, go. Be excellent."
So is Mace like one of those deodorants that they sell in the shops?
Similar to point it at his face, not yourself.
Why would he need his face spraying? She's
It,
actually asking these things, so there is a reasonable
it
chance that with a
is
perception
a
roll you'll notice this.
it is like spray deodorant in the stores, except for this one's for self-defense. It'll temporarily blind him so you can get away.
I have other ways of doing that.
We don't need to get Detective Black on any more medication. I feel bad enough that he's required to take some now because of seeing that Gentry and me and a couple others in their other real forms.
Okay. Mal can see us now too.
Yes, I know that. He knows Mel is a mage also. He just thinks it's kind of a load of bullshit.
Okay.
All right. While y'all are all warming up cars, Detective Black, she's actually, Lucy's going with you for questioning.
Mhm.
After you saw Lynne primp and proper her like she's the daughter, even though she looks a little older than Lynne.
Right.
She's a lot older than Lynn, I think.
Lucio, you're alone with the old woman.
Oh, this is
Yeah,
gonna be boring.
he's gonna
This is
bend
gonna.
down to where he's like inches in front of her face, and he'll smile at her.
Can I help you with something? And she'll like push her glasses up her long, wizened nose.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
How many hours do you work a week?
I work 19 hours a day.
And how much do you get paid?
$15 an hour.
$15 an hour. Okay, okay, that's good. Do you have benefits? What's your package?
I have full health and I have life insurance. Why?
Okay. Well, because I wanted to know when I replace you, what I was going to be coming into.
And who says a prostitute's gonna replace me?
First off, I'm not a prostitute. I'm an escort. There is a completely different. But this escort also comes with a degree from fucking Harvard, a master's, by the way. And I've paid off all my student loans, and my credit is perfect.
She like arches an eyebrow at him and she goes, "Is there a point you're trying to threaten me over?"
Oh, I'm not threatening you. I'm just letting you know. I'm gonna take your fucking job.
Oh, you think you can keep Lynne in the office doing work? She founded Salem. She helped build it. And you're going to keep her working instead of prancing around, acting like some common person?
No, I'm actually going to work for 19 hours a day instead of bitch like you do. And she'll have the ability to walk around and prance and make herself better known. Because she's the founder of the city, and you give her no respect as such. And
She's
me,
only one of 12, and she was the lowest ranking founding member.
oh,
If
I
she
don't
knew
even
her
give a
job, I
damn.
wouldn't have to.
Well, see, you're a secretary. It's kind of your job to do something. And right now, all I see you do is bitch and hire detectives to spy on her and things of that nature.
All I do is keep the bad influences out of her because she's been in the paper before, back when she was fucking one of the other founders.
Well, all you're going to do in about 3 days when I get back is hold the unemployment line. He'll nod. Do me a
He
favor. I
notices,
don't like this desk. So I want you, he'll kind of wrap his nails on it, to do me a favor and make sure that a new, sleeker one comes in.
she's digging her pin into her thumb now, letting the blood drop on the desk in his hand.
He'll look down at it.
He can sense the glamour activating.
You want to play that game with me?
Little boy, I don't fuck young 'cause I break 'em.
Oh my god, wow. He'll shake his head.
I mean, worst case scenario, everything she's done that I've covered up for her, I still have evidence hidden away for her. I have a little package set up that if anything happens to me, say I lose my job or I die or anything like that, it gets sent to every detective in the city. I wonder how he would feel about every death instead of just one little deputy officer Alice of Homicide's death being covered up by Lynne and the other courts.
Wow. Okay. He'll nod. Gracias. He'll smile at her.
De nada. Now get your Mexican ass out of my office.
Oh, God, but you know you're going to love to watch me go. And he'll turn and he'll walk out.
I've had bigger.
Yeah, I'm sure you have. And he'll, like, just whatever. Then he'll walk outside, and he'll kind of flick the blood off his hand, and he'll look at Lynn. And he'll
Lynn's
smile at
eyebrow
her.
arched.
I love it when you don't really, like, when you give somebody, like, a mild threat, okay? He'll kind of pull her close. He'll, like, put his arms around her waist, and he'll pull her. I know, like, I love it when you don't say anything, you just threaten someone, how they'll start divulging all the bullshit they have on you so that you can turn around and cover someone's tracks. So pat her cheek.
Ah, the bitch opened her mouth. Okay.
Yep. It's so
We
easy.
can,
It's so easy. So he'll start, like, kind of subtly naming off all the stuff that she just told him that she has on her. Because that was his fucking point. That's what he was trying to do. And,
yeah.
and nuzzle her. So get those things covered, okay?
We can end the scene here, and we'll pick up with Lucy and Will's questioning, and we'll do text RP for the shopping.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Before you do so, do you want Walt to be in the physically be in the scene? Because if you do, it'll probably have to be later tonight.
Yeah, I figured we'd do it later so Walt could be there too.
Yeah, because turns out I'm not going to be as busy tonight as I thought I would be. So yeah, just let me know.
Alrighty.
Well, it's entirely up to you guys if you actually bother to contact Mal to ask him to be there. Lucy does not realise the impact of being questioned by the American police. She's used to thinking of police as being friendlier.
Yeah.
That's why Lucio said what he said.
He doesn't. He sees American police and thinks, yeah, British, British constabulary.
French.
Yeah, because Lucy is from France. You can tell by her accent. She is not American.
Yeah.
All right.
Right.
Well, good evening, good afternoon, our 8 viewers. This has been Salem by Night. We hope you enjoyed Changeling the Lost in Salem. And one human.